Am I too fast?
No, you're okay.
I'm okay. Mimi naitwa Alice Juma. Mimi nilisaliwa mwaka wa 1963. Nilipomaliza shule, nikamaliza miaka 2 nikaoleka. Na nikapatika kama niko tu kwa ndoa hivi. Nikaenda kusomea diploma kwa adult and non-formal education. Nilipomaliza vile tunajua Kenya, hakuna kazi, kuna kuajiriwa. So nikapata sijafaulu kuajiriwa. Nikaingia kwa ukulima. So nikaingia kwa ukulima na nikapendelea sana ukulima wa mboga kwa sababu mama yangu alikuwa pia anapenda ukulima wa mboga. So nilikuwa najifunza kutoka kwake. Kwa wakati huu niko na managu, kuna seveve, iko huko nyuma kidogo kiasi. Wakati mwingine nimepanda zaka ziko hapo. Hizo naweza sema zilinipatia hasara kwa sababu si kuchuna hata. Inapopandwa nyingi, unapata ya kwamba hakuna market, there is no market. Anatarajia kupata interest kwa kazi yake, faida. So anapokosa market, hiyo mboga inaharibikia tu hapo. Anajiona ya kwamba amefanya kazi bure, hata kuwa na ule mwito wa kuendelea kufanya hiyo kazi.
Farmers usually don't have market information getting to them. How much do you produce? When do you produce? What is in demand, what is not? What is fetching a better price, what is not?
In most low and middle income countries, producers generally have poor market power. They don't have a lot of information about what's going on in the market or what happens to their products after it leaves their farm, which leaves them very little to negotiate with. They have no idea what their products are being sold for in the market.
If there is asymmetry in information, so if a trader knows exactly what the price of a vegetable is in the market, but the farmer doesn't, the farmers are at a disadvantage.
There is also the lack of transparency. You go to the market, you buy vegetables, there is no idea, there's no information about this vegetable whatsoever. How they have been produced, where they are coming from. We are exploring how the blockchain technology can be used to address the trust among value chain actors and information flows.
If this project is successful, producers and farmers will have higher incomes from the sale of their African indigenous vegetables. Consumers would have knowledge and information about the value and would be purchasing more vegetables, which would in turn hopefully increase the nutrition intake of their families. I think the essential core question is, does blockchain technology help?
Mama Alice, wayama wena nditanga. Nditanga. Olukulam. Ndomlam. Olumula mwana.
Eshiera karibu.
Singo unochenda ni habeli yana.
Ndokhana nende lyanje. Ingorwa khulaela wano bukule no ba.
Ngorwa khola. Nerila yi. Ndina paka ndalanyola sa ukula.
Nsholo longa landa manya kukazi.
Wenya kukusetsa shilingi tsi.
Ndenyanga za shilingi 100 yonyene.
100 tsona tsinyinji halisi. Ndiyamela nerila lakini ndiyana tsinyinji.
Nyire yabo.
Shoka la 50.
50 shoba ufinyire?
Mwana wi.
Akhola 8 mana.
Akhola 8. Akhakunya kunyasana nawe. Ndama kome koko 8. Lano? Woni si?
Ndina nayo. Ihole
enda kukusani.
Rio?
Nolo mramfu ana wihale khano.
Ndihacha.
Penda kuikhala. Afungule hii.
Haifungula.
We gave 58 users a phone loaded with the AgUnity app, and we gave it to farmers, traders, and retailers of African indigenous vegetables. Essentially, each actor has their own unique QR code, and when a transaction is happening, the price and the quantity that's being transacted, as well as the variety, all of that information is entered into the seller's phone.
I've just bought her vegetables at 80 shillings. So she wants to give me the vegetable. We want to transact the process that we have agreed. We have already negotiated. I've seen the vegetables. Yes, we have agreed the price. So we want to scan our process.
Once they both agree that everyone accepts, they scan the QR code. Then when the buyer pays the seller, another scan of the QR code occurs.
Wenye hawatumii app ya AgUnity wanapata hasara kwa sababu mboka yao wanaiuza nyingi kwa pesa kidogo. Wengine hata hawana mahali pa kuuza.
Blockchain can be really useful because everybody can learn to trust the data. They can learn to trust the people that they are transacting with. So first we make a data that is not belonging to anybody. It doesn't belong to anybody, but also it belongs to everybody who are using it.
This app does not use any kind of cryptocurrency, no Bitcoin, there's none of that component. All blockchain really is a distributed ledger.
There is that broad group which have seen the blockchain as a really incomprehensible concept. I think the reason why actually the problem arises with the blockchain and its comprehension is it has been used so much in the cryptocurrency business, but it also has the capability to be used in other commercial applications where parties are exchanging and information is being generated in the process.
The way how I usually explain blockchain to the farmers is sometimes, okay, you have bank accounts. Do you know where the data lies? And then they know, oh, it's at the server of the bank. But then what happens if the bank is actually mischievous and they want to take your data, or somebody hacks the server that is sitting in the bank, and then you lost your data, you lost the transactions. Now imagine that you transact 10 kilograms of strawberries. When you input that data, not just one server, but like thousands of them or hundreds of them says 10 kilograms of strawberries. So when somebody wants to hack it or when somebody wants to change it, you cannot do it easily because 100 server will be able to say, no, it's not 10 kilograms of banana, it's 10 kilograms of strawberry.
Kilo. It is not a kilo yet.
Hata sikuwa naweka. Mimi nilikuwa tu nauza. Kama sina nyanya, sina kitunguu, nitachukua tu naenda kununua nyanya, naenda kununua kitunguu. Sina hata wakati, hata sikuwa najua inafaa niandike. Nilikuwa tu nauza, si nimepata pesa, enda nunua mkate, enda nunua sabuni, hivyo tu. Sikuwa na rekodi mahali. So imenisaidia at least.
It is funny the way all Kenyan, most of the Kenyan families do. Nobody keeps records that this year I harvested 100 bags, I sold 10, I got 300,000, I used on this. People just go, they plant, they harvest, they sell, they don't keep record. If you did something and you forgot, maybe you forgot to pay, that person calls you, says, you have not paid me my money, we agreed on Wednesday you will pay me. You may say yes or no, but you can go to the phone to confirm so that you don't argue. The phone can remind you where you made a mistake.
By them having each of the transactions recorded in a nice way that they can actually see it in the smartphone, they can see their wallets, they can see their transaction history, they can show it to the banks for them to get some loans, they can show it to the insurance company for them to get better premium for their produces.
3/4 of us, we didn't know how to use a touch phone, and now we have touch screens. We feel like we are on top of the world. We feel we are part of the world because if people can think about us and bring for us a phone, we feel the world loves us, and we feel encouraged to be part of the world. Yes. Sasa Jenina, habari ya leo? Nzuri. Wewe mzima? Niko salama. Hata sisi tuko mzima. Nimekuletea ile mboga ambayo uliniagiza. Yes. Sasa hapa ndani nina managu, nina terere. Yes. Sasa nitaomba ya kwamba tupime tujue ni kilo ngapi. Yes. I'm a trader. We just buy, sell. Even the next morning to the retailer, to the market. So I go to the retailer, to the market, same kilos, but a different price. So if I am buying from the producer 30, I'm giving the retailer with 40, so that I'm also making a 10 bob. Local vegetables are perishable goods. If you stay with it 2 days, it turns color, you can't sell. If you stay with it more than 48 hours, then you lose the grade. It no longer becomes a grade A.
Part of this project has been to really establish a grade A versus grade B vegetable quality. Grade A being vegetables that are produced without inorganic fertilizer from pesticides, for example. So it's organic, and they're also of a higher quality. They look good, they're fresh.
What we realized is that consumers really care about what's going on with their food. They want to know about their producers, they want to know what's gone into the food they're consuming, and that includes especially whether or not pesticides have been applied. Blockchain can really help prove that value addition.
This way, the consumer is not just paying for the vegetables, is also, or she is also will be paying for the information which the retailer is producing. We did a consumer survey, and you'll be surprised how much consumers are willing to pay for such kind of information. If the current price is 10 shillings per bundle, some consumers were willing to pay up to 30 shillings more on top of that if they are provided with verifiable information about certain aspects of the production process.
My name is Nur Fitria. You can call me Nurfit. I'm from Indonesia. I don't speak Swahili, so Monica will help me to translate. I will have some questions for you regarding of how you have been experiencing using AgUnity and being in the group for the last 6 months. We don't want you to have like a perfect answer. We want to understand your pain. We want to understand how you think we can actually improve it so that it's better for all of us. AgUnity is a technology company. We are serving the last mile. The last mile are usually the type of communities who are the last one who get to access services to finances or telecommunication signal, technologies to smartphones, for instance.
Saa zingine unapata inapotea. You get it lost.
Okay, he's saying
Now
sometimes the records could get lost, given that it's written in the books. So chances of losing the records were high.
I've always been attracted to how do we make finance, how do we make technology that works for the farmers, for the farming communities.
Yes.
Next question. When you are transacting, there's the scanning, there's the putting the kilogram, the price, and then you scan, and then you check your wallet. How easy it is. So if it's really easy, you put 3 dots. If it's really not easy, it's really difficult, you put 3 red dots. For all of the things that we take for granted, the farmers are the ones who are not having these privileges. Like they are far from actually getting the profit or the decency of life that they are actually deserving, because all of us in this world is actually relying on them for our food.
They're saying there's a lot of trust that has been established between the players, and also the price that is now accommodative between the producer and the trader, and between the trader and the retailer.
We want to make a product that is fitting to most of the communities, but we want to also make it flexible enough so that it can actually be tailored for the different types of cultural nuances that we find. So we want to empower people not just by them having the data, just not by them using the technology, but by them also actually having the sense that they are the one who is making the technology.
Would you recommend that other farmers, other retailers, traders should use the apps you can put here? I think it's an important lesson for us who are starting to work on digitizing the last mile farmer, that it's not just about putting a smartphone in their hands with a really good application built on a powerful technology. Without the innovation coming from within the country, it's very easy to develop something that really doesn't fit within that nuanced context of someone's life. If it doesn't fit in with the flow of the way people live, then you're asking for too much change.
I grew up in an agricultural setup in central Kenya, born to a farming household. Like every other young man, the ambition was to go to university and be the change agent in the society. You realize that if you really have an interest in making change, you don't begin in areas which already are on the advanced stages along the change process. The communities which are left behind, my perception is that this is usually the most important part to begin from. When we are exiting the project, we will leave the farmers with real solutions to these problems.
We did things that strengthen
So we have some vegetables that we must cook with that. That is the jute mallow.
Oh, yeah.
The sun hemp.
Okay.
The malenge inaitwaje kwa Kiingereza? Pumpkin leaves.
Okay.
We put water on a sufuria, boil it first before we put it. We put the native salt there.
Amazing. And the boiling helps get rid of some of the bitterness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know when the vegetables are done?
When you're ready?
Yeah, when they're ready.
I test.
You test.
Yeah, when it is soft.
Soft? Okay.
Yeah, when there's enough salt.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
When it's not too bitter.
Come and test.
The yellow liquid is coming
The
only
yellow liquid
from...
is for the jute mallow.
It's really good. That's the best vegetables I've had in Kenya. That's amazing.
They're healthy already.
And the photo lady?
Photo lady?
Yeah.
Taste.
Do you want to taste?
I'd love to.
This is roasted meat before it is cooked. Very delicious. New meat? Come and carry this to the main house.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Violet, I just want to say thank you so much to you for helping us and teaching us about the vegetables that you've been preparing. So, could you tell us a little bit about the meal, what we're having, and what you love about it?
Using burger, they are nutritious. When we eat them, we don't have any infections in our bodies.
They're protective. You know, today, even medical institutions are encouraging us to do what? To feed these native local vegetables that do not have a lot of, you call them toxins.
Yes.
What did I pick first? What I picked first is what is most important to my health, the poor vegetables. Then the second was white meat.
Very good.
Yes. But if this there were youths here, they would have hated things.
They don't even have any vegetables.
It depends on who are gathering. If they were the youths, one thing they would have thrown on the whole bowl of vegetables outside.
It's a great, something great in itself. When we find ourselves eating together this way, in a group such as this one.
For us, food is a social factor. It's not just a physical factor. It brings communities together. We come together. For us, when my mother goes visiting somewhere and she comes back, she says we ate well. So it starts with the eating part rather than everything also. For us, it's a social thing.
We say in the native language, a relationship is in the stomach. There's no way somebody can be your relative if he's hungry. Relationship is in the stomach. So there's no way, you know, people would come together like this in the absence of food. Food is really a uniting factor. To add to that, we have shared experiences. Yeah. Or have we not?
I think that's really one of the great value addeds of this technology, is that it builds trust, it builds relationships. They've become friends, they know one another.
As we're learning the positive impacts that it's had on the users, starting to look towards working with the government of Kenya, working with the private sector, to see how we can get this app into other value chains. There's so much potential for it to transform agriculture in Kenya.
I was coming, why did you For the program, I have a very big dream for it. A very big dream. I get more hope that one day I'll reach somewhere. My personal dream is I feed Kenya and international. We want to feed the whole world a good thing. Good, organically grown African leafy vegetables for all.